Hello, Durud and Shalom. Hi, everyone in the chat. Oh, thank you, guys. People are advertising, liking the stream right at the beginning. The chat is busy. I see you guys. Guys, we are going to be responding to more anti-Israeli lies. We have been doing a very good job here at this channel, basically breaking down why the nonsense people say against Israel is BS. It's all BS. And, given how much you guys have been welcoming and appreciating the way that we do it, the way we break it down, we're going to continue, especially because it pisses off the anti-Israelis and the anti-Semites that will eventually show up in the chat. Usually they are not here at the beginning. Usually the people who are at the beginning are our fans, like Sadaf here, Unusual AI, UV, Flying Robot Duck. Yes, this is good. But at some point, they're going to. Nail Bunny is here. Debbie is here. Nike, Jono, Mohsen is here. Voice of I don't know what. Okay, fantastic. They. Okay. Hi, everyone. All right, good. Wait. Yeah, no, okay. I have everything correctly. And Zell is here saying hi. All right, let's just get started. So I have a lot. Guys, this is the channel that I use. It's Breezy Politics. This is basically an anti-Israeli channel. And this is good because these people have gone and found every single person that takes anti-Israeli position. They go and give us bite-sized version of their arguments, so that in our live stream we could basically cover all of them. So we could just go from the top to the bottom and just keep like as the nonsense keeps growing. Breezy Politics will do us a favor and go and gather those for us. And then as they keep coming, we'll just keep smacking them. We'll just keep coming and we'll smack. Yeah, that's good. Smacking every one of them. How's that? That's a good way of. Let's look at this first one. Traitor. So this is apparently an American politician, right? And she's a traitor because she's defending Israel. Apparently, guys, having allies, supporting your allies is being a traitor to your country. I did not know that. Let's look at this one. Let's look at what this one says.
Elise Stefanik.
Congresswoman Elise Stefanik booed today while attempting to address a crowd.
Protesters zeroed in on Stefanik's stance on the war in Gaza, barely letting her speak and forcing her to cut her speech early.
The American people proudly stand with Israel. As a lifelong admirer, supporter, and true friend of Israel.
Stand with Israel, and we will vote on the Israel Security Supplemental Appropriations Act, a standalone $17.6 billion package which will provide life-saving funding and resources to stand with Israel.
Throughout my life, the importance of the state of Israel was clear.
Barely letting her speak and forcing her to cut her speech early.
It is truly humbling to be here to commemorate.
So they're barely letting her speak. I mean, that actually says a lot. I don't know why these people think that this is in their favor. Look, like this one video just got 3,000 likes. And let's look at this is actually very damning. This goes against you. Basically, this is a good demonstration of what the anti-Israeli position is. No arguments, just shouting and not allowing the other side to speak, not listening to arguments. It's just this is a good representation of what happens in this on our live streams. People just show up and they just keep like, you are evil, Israel is evil, you're genocide supporting, and then we provide arguments for why their claims are wrong. And they're like, oh, how could you sleep at night? Oh, you're murdering children. Apartheid, genocide, apartheid, occupiers, genocide, colonialism, settler colonialism, genocide, apartheid. Like, okay, do you want to have an argument? I'm not going to have an argument with somebody who supports genocide. You're thirsty with the blood of children. I mean, this is what's happening here. This is the internet in the real world. She's just not listening and just shouting. These people actually think that their points are valid because they go out and shout down these politicians. I don't know. I mean, it is to be fair though. It is what they're doing is effective, And this is, I'm going to actually criticize our side, right? Why is it? Because these people don't have that much of an influence over American politics. Because I don't know, guys, if you know this, but Americans don't really care much about their foreign politics that much. This is just a loud minority of people that just show up. But because they show up and because they are a cause to these politicians, they could actually change their perspective on things. So even if it doesn't have much meaning over in these politicians' votes, it does have an effect over their, sanity and sense of safety and protection. And they might want to reduce how much they support Israel because of these consequences. So this what they're doing could work in their favor. And what I'm trying to say is that where are the pro-Israelis? Like, I do want to criticize our side. Why is it that the crazies are the people who always show up in these events? And why is it that our side does not show up? Like, there needs to be people, if you know that a pro-Israeli politician is going to very likely be have to go through this experience, then there needs to be a whole bunch of people in the crowd with Israeli flags and shouting Am Israel Chai. Right? Like, where is that? Where is our people here? Where's our people? Do you guys think that's a fair criticism? I think that's a fair criticism. Like, I don't want to keep just criticizing the other side. I also want to look at our behavior and what we're doing. And we're not present. We should be present. Why are we not present? Like, it's not enough to just comment, and these people are online, but they're also right there in the physical world. Like, why are our people not there? Oh, okay, UV has a good point. UV saying because we go to work at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Sure, actually, you're right. The crazy people are also the people who are jobless. That's a good point. Oh, Alex saying I'm present. Well, thank you, Alex. You're right. That's a good point. These people don't have, a lot of them don't have jobs. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. So let's actually go. Wait, now actually, I didn't completely respond to everything in this video.
Elise
Congresswoman Elise Stefanik booed today while attempting to address a crowd.
Yeah, attempting, not letting her to speak because you don't actually have any points except booze.
Protesters zeroed in on Stefanik's stance on the war in Gaza, barely letting her speak and forcing her to cut her speech early.
Oh, by the way, did you guys see? Hold on, I can't go back, can I?
Elise Stefanik.
Okay, so they put the AIPAC money. That's not enough, guys. What are you doing, AIPAC? Like, what are you doing? Is that really the real number? $1 million? Do you Americans not understand the financial benefit to your way of life? The more you support Israel, the better your lives are going to be. Do you understand that there's trillions of dollars that you are saving because Israel is helping you maintain the world economic order? And this is the only amount that you're spending on supporting the politicians. By the way, do you guys understand that this $1 million is not going into our pocket? This $1 million is supporting your campaign. And if a politician is supporting Israel, then that is pocket change. You're telling me that you have U.S. representatives supporting Israel, and $1 million is the total sum that you could have gathered to support her campaign, to stay in office, and to also encourage more politicians to support Israel? I mean, they're trying to use this $1 million as a way to shame this politician, but I think this is a shame on AIPAC. Like, what do you guys need to raise more money? What the hell? Like, can you not afford? Like, can United States not afford a better lobbying activity to be able to support US's greatest ally in the Middle East? That is nothing. What the hell? Just only $1 million? when there's billions at stake here? What is happening here? Like, guys, pick up your lobbying games. What is this? This is pathetic.
Congresswoman Elise
Don't shush us. Oh, this says the man who's booing and yelling.
Stefanik booed today while attempting to address a crowd.
Protesters zeroed in on Stefanik's stance on the war in Gaza, barely letting her speak and forcing her to cut her speech early.
The American people proudly.
So now they're trying to show the way that they shame her. Like, look at this. They're like, oh my God, look how evil she is. She's saying that the American people proudly stand with Israel. I mean, they do still, and they should
stand with Israel. As a lifelong admirer, supporter, and true friend of Israel,
Stand with
Oh my God, got her. She's a friend of the only liberal democracy in the Middle East. She's a friend of countries that are allied to the United States. Oh my God, you got you. Oh my God, evil supports Israel.
with Israel, and we will vote on the Israel Security Supplemental Appropriations Act, a standalone $17.6 billion package which will provide life-saving funding and resources to stand with Israel.
Throughout my life, the importance of the state of Israel was clear.
Yeah, good that she understands. Like, guys, I don't know who this lady is, but vote for her. She understands. She supports Israel. You need to vote for her. Yeah, also Amir in the chat saying she's brave to confront that crowd. Exactly. All right, so we're this is enough with that. Let's go to the next video. What is this? Zionism versus America. Oh my God, look at this. Look at this cover. Look at this crazy people. Okay, let's do this one. Let's see what this is about.
So after 20 years of service in the military, yesterday I got pulled into an officer's office and counseled for a post that I have on my social media. During the counseling, they told me I'm under investigation as a threat to national security. And the proof they gave me are anti-Israel posts. When I joined the military, I took an allegiance to support the United States of America. I did not ever take an allegiance to support Israel. But yet, I am deemed a threat to national security because I do not support Israel. Since when does not supporting a foreign nation get a U.S. soldier investigated for being a threat to national security? So after 20
Wait, what is he talking? By the way, I see the super chat. I will respond to it soon. Thank you so much for the super chat. By the way, guys, I will read all the super chats during the show. So thank you for your support. But what is he talking about? What the hell is he talking about? Don't we have rules in the army or in all the armed forces in the United States that while wearing the uniform, you don't get to express political opinions? It's not just about Israel. It's just in general. And also, look at how we got basically zero context. When he says, I criticize Israel, this could have been an anti-Semitic post for I don't know what that is. Like, look, he didn't even mention what the post was. I mean, the fact that it doesn't mention what, holy crap, guys, this got 73,000. 73,000. Are you kidding me? Likes. How many views does this got? Does it show me the views? This got 500,000 views and 73,000 likes. 7,000 comments. Guys, am I wrong? Isn't that a rule? That when you're serving while wearing the military uniform, you cannot have... So there's three things to this, okay? Let me actually respond to this in three ways, right? First of all, this is not just about Israel. If you had political opinions about other things, that's something that they could... you could lose your job for in the army, right? Somebody's saying you are wrong. Well, if I'm wrong, I'll look into it, okay? Because I think I have a file on this. Let me actually check. Yeah. So that one. Two, there's no context about what he said. I think they would have played what he said. They would have included what he said if it wasn't something problematic. It could have been an anti-Semitic post. And then the third part where he says, I swore an oath to protect the United States, not Israel. Well, you're a moron, because you don't understand that supporting Israel is supporting the United States. So let me actually play this through, and let me actually look into this. Hold on. All right, let me actually play this one more time.
Years of service in the military. Yesterday, I got pulled into an officer's office and counseled for posts that I have on my social media. During the counseling, they told me I'm under investigation as a threat to national security. And the proof they gave me are anti-Israel posts. When I joined the military, I took an allegiance to support the United States of America. I did not ever take an allegiance to support Israel.
Yes, you did. Israel is United States ally, and Israel is fighting against the enemies of the United States. So if you want to support the United States, you have to support Israel. I mean, I think you're too dumb to understand that, but I think other people understand that.
But yet, I am deemed a threat to national security because I do not support Israel.
I mean, that's your framing of it. We don't know what the post
Since
was.
when does not supporting a foreign nation get a U.S. soldier investigated for being a threat to national security?
First of all, it's not just a foreign nation. It's a foreign nation that supports the United States and fights the enemies of the United States. And also, I think you're not providing the full context. And let me actually see here. So I think I was right. The person who in the chat who said I was wrong. Yeah. So do you think, did this actually even happen? I mean, I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen. And I was correct about this. Look at this. The U.S. military has specific regulations regarding the online conduct of service members, which are outlined in Department of Defense Directive 1344.10, okay, and Army Regulation 600-20. These policies are in place to maintain good order and discipline with their ranks and to ensure that the military remains a non-partisan institution. So, for example, political activities. While service members are not prohibited from expressing their personal opinions, they are restricted from engaging in partisan political activities, especially while on duty or in uniform, which he's doing here right now, by the way. He's in uniform and doing this. I mean, even forget his post. This video right here is a violation, or this video alone is in violation of the existing rules, and he's wearing his uniform while he's doing that. So forget the other posts. This is actually something that you could get you. Okay. So see, I was right. I was completely right. See, you don't know what you're talking about. This includes posting content that could be seen as promoting a political cause or candidate. Okay. The Uniform Code of Military Justice, UCMJ, prohibits service members from using contemptuous words, did I pronounce that right, against elected officials, including the president. Well, he didn't do that, so that's fine. They could only interpret. Okay, defending the content. Okay, extremist content. Military personnel are prohibited from actively participating in promoting extremist organizations or ideologies. So if, for example, if this was anti-Israeli or anti-Semitic rhetoric, they would fall under this category as well, and they could trigger an investigation. Service members are not allowed to use their official titles or position to endorse a product, service, or ideology. So if you identified yourself as a member of the military in this post, this could be seen as an implicit endorsement of the view of the army. So if you made that post while making it clear that you're part of the military, then it could be investigated as if you're representing the view of the U.S. Army. So, yep, I was correct. I was very much correct. This guy is full of crap. And thank you for not providing any more context to what the post was. But it was good enough, guys. There's no context regarding what the post was, but it was good enough for 73,000 people to like this. Let me see. Oh, look at this. This comment got 6,000 views, likes, saying he's a threat to traitors. Oh, he's a threat to AIPAC. That's why he's being investigated. Israel does not only occupy Palestine, but also the US, UK, and Europe. Wow, 5,000 likes in this one. Guys, how many likes do we have right now? We don't get as much likes. So maybe you guys need to like this video as well. How many likes do we have? Hold on, let me see. Why am I not seeing the likes? Where is the likes? Oh, we got 64. Guys, we only have 64 likes. How many of you are here right now? There is 400 of you here and only 60. Yeah, guys, please help out with liking the stream. Why am I not seeing the comments anymore? So look how far behind we are. We have 70 likes, and these people have 70 likes. These people have 73,000 likes. They have 1,000 times more likes than our chat than our stream. This is why you guys, the pro-Israel side, please help this channel so that we could grow. So that was so easily debunked, guys. So it's so easy. Like, why is it that the anti-Israeli side has nothing? Like, they're full of crap. Look at this. They're full of crap. They have nothing. These are their best content. Let's look at the next video. This one has 350,000 views. Wow, it must be a really good argument here, huh? What do you guys think? There must be a really good argument over here. Let's look at this one.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Famine has been declared in Gaza City.
The United Nations
has officially declared
famine in Gaza. 1 million people who are facing, quote, starvation, destitution, and death.
There is indeed famine in Gaza City.
This is irrefutable testimony. It is a famine. The Gaza famine. It is a famine that we could have prevented if we had been allowed. Yet food stacks up at borders because of systematic obstruction by Israel. It is a famine within a few hundred meters of food in a fertile land. It is a famine that hits the most vulnerable first, each with a name, each with a story, that strips people of dignity before it strips them of life, that forces a parent to choose which child to feed. It is a famine in 2025, a 21st century famine, watched over by drones and the most advanced military technology in history. Prime Minister Netanyahu, enough. For humanity's sake, let us in.
Breaking news.
Okay, I'm going to respond to all of that nonsense, but let me actually respond to the super chat. I forgot to respond to the super chat. So we got 2 super chats. Oh my God, we got a second one. So the first one by Pedram saying Iranians, Israelis, and some Arabs in the region know the truth of these dark days. As the Shah of Iran said in his last interview, the truth will come out. It did in Iran. It will in the world as well, despite the media's narrative. Wow, that's a very... Pedram, are you still here? Thank you so much for that powerful message. You're amazing. Pedram from Iran. Is he still here? I read it so late. I hope he's still here. I hope he sees that I read his message. That was a very... Guys, these are messages that we're getting from... Pedram is an Iranian name. So this is an Iranian. Thank you so much for that powerful message. And then Unusual AI. Pedram, are you still... Oh, yeah. He's here. Yay. Okay, he saw it. Thank you, Pedram, for that beautiful message. And then we also got a message from Unusual AI saying, Quran Surah 44:33, Allah gave land of Israel to Musa, which is Moses, and his people, the Yehudis, which basically means the Jews, and Israel is blessed. That's basically Surah Al-Baqarah, the cow chapter, verse 47. Allah bless the Jews in Israel no Palestine in the Quran, no P in Arabic language. There's no Palestine in the Quran. There's only Israel in the Quran, and there's no P in the Arabic language. That's good. That's good. Thank you for that, unusual AI. All right. So let's respond. I mean, I have an entire file on this whole nonsense regarding these accusations against Israel. All right. So first of all, the idea that if there's famine in Gaza, there might be some areas that there is famine, but for most of Gaza, it's not famine situation. For most of Gaza is extreme hunger, not famine. Okay. But even if it is famine or extreme hunger, I mean, in some areas of Gaza, there's not even extreme hunger. Okay, it depends. Your experience might vary, depends on where you are. There are some places of Gaza where people are very well fed. Some areas of Gaza that where people are experiencing extreme hunger, and there's also maybe some areas that are famine. Right. However, none of this has anything to do with Israel. Israel has moved more calories into a war zone than any country ever has during war. Especially given that you're moving calories into an area that you're fighting against. Israel has broken the record. Israel has broken the record in moving calories, more calories needed for people to be more than just well-fed. I mean, maybe nutrition-wise, we have to look into that. Actually, I have a file for this. Let me give you some recent data that I have, because this keeps changing. But historically, like ever since October 7th, Israel has moved so much food into Gaza. The problem, people are like, okay, Armin, if so much have moved into Gaza, why are people hungry? Well, because the UN trucks are not moving the food to the people who need the food. So the responsibility of Israel under international law is to make sure that the food gets into Gaza. But after the food gets into Gaza, it's not the responsibility of Israel anymore to make sure that the food gets into the hands of the people who need it. That's what the UN is for. The UN trucks are for. And the drivers there are refusing to drive the food to the people who need it. You know why? Because they get attacked by Hamas. The trucks constantly get attacked by Hamas. The food gets stolen. And the food that was supposed to get into the people of Gaza for free, Hamas steals that and sells that triple the price to the people in Gaza. So Israel is actually letting food in that actually arms Hamas, which the resources Hamas needs to then shoot back at its soldiers. That's why they started the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation right now to be able to Israel and United States created their own, basically are working with their own private company separate from UN to try to get the food into the hands of people in Gaza, separate from the operations that the UN has, because the UN is not, driving the trucks. It's not moving. And it's interesting because even that's not the responsibility of Israel anymore. After the food gets into Gaza, Israel still is trying its best to do what it can do to create a situation where the food can actually get delivered to the people who need it. But the people at fault for why people in Gaza are hungry, it's not Israel. Let me tell you who to blame. The United Nations, Hamas, and Egypt's government. Because Israel has been trying to get the Gaza-Egypt border open for a very long time, so that more food can get in, and Egypt refuses to open that border. But Israel gets the blame, even though the border with Gaza and Israel, food is getting through. Guys, everything I'm telling you is absolute fact. Food is the border that Israel has with Gaza, food is going through that. But the border that Gaza has with Egypt, food is not going through that. Yet Israel gets accused of starving the people in Gaza, and Egypt doesn't get any of the blame. I mean, if there's any evidence that the bias against Israel is absolutely insane, this is it. This is one of them. But let me actually look at some of the more recent stuff that I have here. So the coordinator of government activities in the territories which is the Israel agency responsible for aid coordination, reports facilitating the entry of hundreds of humanitarian aid trucks into Gaza daily through various land crossings, such as the again, I pronounce this wrong when I the Kirim, guys, am I pronouncing it wrong? Right? Let me actually. I keep dealing with this many times. I keep forgetting how to pronounce it. I think yes, the Kerem crossing, the Kerem Shalom, and the Erez, and Erez. Yes, these are the crossing. For instance, did I pronounce it right? Let me see. Kerem. I think I pronounced it. If you could write it in Arabic, I would be able to read it better. I think I pronounced it fine. All right, so these are the crossings that the food, for instance, on a given day, the COAGA team might report the entry of over 350 trucks. In addition to land routes, which are basically that's the crossing which on the border between Israel and Gaza that the food is going through, that one, right? But in addition to that, we have Israel has coordinated several countries, including the United States, Jordan, and the UAE and France, to facilitate airdrops of food and medical supplies into different parts of the Gaza Strip. And then we also had a maritime corridor has also been established to deliver aid. That didn't work out very well, but they were attempting that. So numerous reports from international sources and Israeli intelligence indicate that Hamas has systematically diverted and seized humanitarian aid convoys. This aid is often redirected for the use of its fighters or sold on the black market, preventing it from reaching the civilian population for whom it is intended. The distribution of aid within Gaza is fraught with challenges. The breakdown of civil order has led to convoys being looted by armed gangs, and which is basically mostly Hamas, and desperate crowds. The ongoing fighting creates significant security risk for humanitarian workers and makes safe passages for convoys difficult to guarantee. So yeah, I mean, Israel has done everything. It's just the chaos that comes what comes after. UN agencies and other NGOs have cited significant logistical hurdles inside Gaza, including a shortage of trucks. Actually, guys, let me show you. Let me see if I have a video, because a lot of you think that this is all just made up. I know there's nothing that we could do for you guys, but for people who might be interested in getting convinced, let me actually give you video footage of what's happening. Okay, look at this. So this is she's in Gaza. She's an Israeli soldier in Gaza, and she wants to show us what's actually happening. And this is in Gaza. She's going to show us the aid that has been delivered to Gaza, and it's just sitting there. It's just sitting there because the UN trucks are refusing to actually deliver this to the hands of the people in Gaza. So watch this.
I am now in Gaza, where all the trucks with humanitarian aid from Egypt and Jordan are coming. And they're getting stored here, waiting for international organizations like the UN to come and pick them up. You can see around me how much humanitarian aid is waiting here. It's the load of 800 trucks waiting just to be picked up and taken to the Gazans. Here we can see aid from the World Food Program. Pasta, halva, tons of flour, liters and liters and liters of sunflower oil. UAE aid also sitting here waiting to be picked up. Egyptian people to the Palestinian people. And what is this? Feta cheese. Look how many tons of feta cheese there are here, also there. Here, food for children. You can see.
Okay, somebody saying she's not a soldier. Okay, she might be a reporter. I don't know.
Here, all this and much more waiting to be delivered. Here there's, I think, fish. It looks in a very bad state. And also these in the back, you can see them full of dust. What is it?
Look, full of dust. They've just been sitting there for a long time, not being delivered.
But we have...
I hope they don't get expired.
Here there's, I think, fish. It looks
I'm pretty sure that they make sure that it's a type of food that wouldn't go expire.
in a very bad state. And also these in the back, you can see them full of dust.
Yeah, somebody in the chat is saying never delivered though. Exactly, because under international law, the responsibility of Israel is to get the food into Gaza. After it gets into Gaza, then it's the responsibility of the UN to get the food in the hands of the people of Gaza, the people who need it, and the UN truck drivers are refusing to drive them because Hamas keeps attacking the trucks. So if you want to blame somebody for the hunger in Gaza, blame Hamas. And also blame UN because the IDF has provided has offered the UN trucks to secure them, even though it's not their responsibility. The IDF has offered the UN trucks to provide security for them so that they could deliver the food, but the UN workers in Gaza, they said that they only are willing to work with Hamas for the security, which is insane because it's because the Hamas who attacks the trucks.
I think fish. It looks in a very bad state. And also these in the back, you can see them full of dust. What is it that we have here? Dates. Dates. It's not only that food doesn't go into Gaza and it's rotting in the sun, it's also medicine, clothes, hygiene products. Everything that a person needs is here. It's not reaching the Gazan civilians. What else do we have here? Mattresses. These have been here.
I mean, she looks like a soldier. She's wearing uniform. So why are you telling me she's not a soldier?
It's not reaching the Gazan civilians. What else do we have here? Mattresses. These have been here for so long. They're not even usable anymore.
Oh yeah, somebody in the chat saying no detergent. This is famine. It's famine. There was no detergent. Okay, yeah, sure.
Here, it's not reaching the Gazan civilians. What else do we have here? Mattresses. These have been here for so long. They're not even usable anymore. Oh, this is literally destroyed, completely destroyed.
Why are they destroyed? Like, what the hell? Like, Israel has done so much. The IDF soldiers and Israel has sacrificed so much to try to make sure that this food gets into. Do you know how much Israel has spent money on and how much it has risked IDF soldiers so that these supplies could get into Gaza? And then you're letting them, once they get into Gaza, you're letting them get destroyed. This is the result of the sacrifice of IDF soldiers and all of Israel's infrastructure, all the costs for the sake of the people in Gaza. Do you understand the processes, the difficulty? Because everything has to be checked. Everything has to be checked. Every single millimeter of everything has to be checked because Hamas tries to get weaponry through. They try to put weapons into little tiny pieces and they put them in so many different parts and they get them into Gaza and then they put them together and they turn them into weapons. So do you understand? And every time one of these crossings are being used to get the supplies in, Hamas wants to attack those crossings to reduce the amount of food that gets in so that it could sell the desperation and the suffering of the people of Gaza to the world as a way to strengthen the resistance. So the Israeli military is going through so much cost to try to help the people of Gaza, and the IDF soldiers at these crossings are risking their lives to try to help that this supplies get through. So the IDF soldiers are risking their lives for the sake of people, for the sake of the people in Gaza. And then once the supplies get through, they're not even, the people after are not even protecting the resources. I mean, guys, I'm not exaggerating. The same Karem crossing was bombed by Hamas they killed IDF soldiers at that crossing. While the IDF soldiers were there to let the supplies get through, the IDF soldiers died trying to help the people of Gaza because Hamas attacked them. So these supplies have gotten through, paid for by the blood of IDF soldiers. And look at the way that they're just sitting there now.
Usable anymore. Oh, this is literally destroyed, completely destroyed.
Look at this.
Humanitarian aid. Tahini. Here I'll show you something else. There's no
Look, some people in the chat are saying this guy is an absolute joke. I mean, you guys have zero arguments. It's amazing how easy my job is, because there's no challenge. There's absolutely no challenge against anything I'm saying. Like, oh yeah, this guy's saying you are literally stupid. I mean, as opposed to being figuratively stupid. How could somebody be figuratively stupid? Can somebody explain that to me? Like, I don't know. Okay, but let's continue.
Here I'll show you something else. There's no fuel in Gaza. Look, you see all these trucks? It's fuel waiting to be delivered into Gaza. All of it. And the line is very, very long. It's from here all the way to there. As I showed you, there's no lack of anything. There's no stopping aid from Israel's side. Everything is here waiting to be entered into Gaza. They just don't want to do it.
There we go. So what does it say? Since October 7th, 96,000 trucks entered Gaza, totaling 1.9 tons of humanitarian aid. This is so small. I can't read. This is only through COGAT, not counting the GHF aid offered through the American method. 96,000 trucks of aid have entered into Gaza since October 7th. Guys, never in the history of modern warfare has an army provided this much aid to the area that is fighting against. Again, this is absolute proof that the IDF is the most ethical, the most moral, the most humanitarian, the most humanistic army in the whole world, the most moral army in the world. This has no other country does this for the side that is fighting against. And then Israel gets accused of being evil. No country is less evil than Israel. Israel is the very opposite of evil. I mean, I don't even think that the Israeli people appreciate how amazing the IDF is. I think, again, as much as I love Israel, I think the IDF is even better than the average of Israel. Do you understand what I'm saying? I think the average Israeli is not this kind to Gaza. The IDF is something else. The IDF is an army that any citizen should be so proud of. This level of care for the people that are not your citizens is unheard of. Let me see what else is here. I think that's the. What is this? I'm not gonna read the rest because I think we get the point. You know, like I don't know what to say to people. I don't know if it, guys, Israel's in the chat. Do you understand how amazing you have it? Do you guys understand how amazing your army is and what high of a moral standard your army has? Because some of you, I think, some Israelis, the way that they defend, not all of you, most the people, the Israelis in my chat, they're amazing, okay? But sometimes I see Israelis say stuff that doesn't match the values of Israel or the IDF. Like, sometimes. I mean, if you are an Israeli who says, like, you know what, I don't care about the people of Gaza, well, the IDF cares about the people in Gaza. The IDF spends so much of its resources try to help the people of Gaza. You should be proud of having, I mean, this is why you should be proud of being Israeli, because you have such a great nation with such high values, and you have such a great army with such high standards. I mean, being proud of your country is not just because it's because of ancient history and some, I don't know, mythology and just words, just because it's the name Israel. No, it's because of what you do. You should understand how amazing the amazing behavior, the amazing principles of your country, and you should be proud of that. That's something to be worth celebrating. Do you understand what I'm saying? People in the chat, Israelis in the chat, do you guys get my point? Let me see if I should do. Should I do this one? This one got only 99,000 views. Let's go to this one. This one got more than 500,000 views. Yeah, Torah is saying yes. So Jewish Samantha is saying Netanyahu is still a terrible, corrupt leader. Okay, I mean, we might disagree on Netanyahu, Jewish Samantha, but as an Israeli yourself, can you celebrate? Forget Netanyahu. Do you celebrate the values of the superior values of Israel and the IDF? Do you celebrate that? So let's look at this one, because I'm curious to see. This is Zionist signature. I'm curious to see what this one said, because this one got more views.
Israeli government official charged with soliciting 15-year-old girl in Las Vegas. What's disturbing about this case, and I think why I get frustrated and why other people are getting frustrated, is the fact that people like Brandon Straka, people like yourself, a black man, get persecuted all the time. Me as a white man, never. But I'm saying people get persecuted all the time. Actually, I take that back. I'm getting persecuted in New York. So I misspoke. Yeah. My point is, people get railroaded for much less. Now, this guy was trying to have with a child, which is arguably the most repugnant crime you can commit. And he was able to leave the country. And I'm in the bail bond business. So I see what I call a two-tier justice system where certain people don't have to follow the same laws that I follow. And that frustrates me as an American citizen, seeing somebody, a foreigner, come to our country and get treated better than an American citizen. So the little bit you know about the story, what do you think about it?
Well, my initial thought when I saw it, I was like, he works for the Israelis, so I thought he was supposed to be bombing kids, not them, That was my first initial thought.
Israeli government official charged with soliciting 15-year-old girl in Las Vegas.
So we had an Israeli official that did something evil, and they're using it as a way to blame the entirety of Israel again. So this is the same old story that, not everybody in Israel is a good person, therefore Israel bad. Is that what we're dealing with here? Is that what's happening here? I'm not very familiar with this case. I'm trying to see. So there's an Israeli government official, after being charged with a crime in Las Vegas, was able to leave the United States. So they're trying to suggest that this is a two-tier justice system. So let me see. The legal proceedings, including the charges, bail, and the subsequent plea agreements or release conditions fall entirely under the jurisdictions of the American judicial system, specifically the local courts in Nevada. The outcome of the case was the result of decision made by the U.S. legal authorities. Individual versus state action. In legal and diplomatic context, the alleged criminal actions of an individual are typically treated as separate from the official policies or actions of the governments they work for. The case pertains to the conduct of one person. So there is not we don't have enough the context for the legal proceedings, because this is a big accusation against the United States as a whole, to suggest that the legal system, so the judiciary system, is working with the foreign policy of the United States. I mean, United States has a really good, solid wall between its judiciary and executive branch. So to suggest that this was done for political reasons, because the foreign policy is part of the executive branch, and the executive branch and whatever they want to do in the United States, the wall between the executive branch and the judiciary branch is very, very solid. There is not much you could do. I mean, you could tell, given that, even President Trump had to go to the court, and his crimes are being investigated, and he's forced, as an ex-president, you still have to go to your court hearings, right? There's not much you could do about that. I mean, if these politicians could actually have this much influence over the court system, then so many of them would actually be more in favor of stopping the charges against themselves. And we have seen so many American politicians be having to pay for the crimes that they have committed. So I don't think they have that much influence over the judiciary. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? I think this is obviously a case of not understanding how the court proceedings work in the United States. Let me see. We got a super chat. I will respond to that soon. Oh, what happened here? But you guys understand what I'm saying, right? Somebody's saying you know nothing about American laws. Well, I am having it right in front of me, reading it right now. And you know nothing about American laws, because if you did, you would have said something more meaningful. Yeah, Amir gets what I'm saying. I don't need to know about American laws. I could just look at it. You guys know how easy it is to look these things up, right? I'm looking it up right now as we're speaking. So I think you're ignorant how easy it is to look these things up. So let me see. Yeah, and you're obviously ignorant, because people who usually have a point don't just stay useless. They don't make useless comments. They actually say something. Let me go. Let me see. So they're trying to link the officials' alleged crime with Israel-Palestinian conflict. This is just conflation. Two separate and unrelated subjects are merged to make a point, right? So yeah, this is just conflation, because they have no, they're providing no proof that the reason why this guy got released to go be accountable in his own country has anything to do with Israel, Palestine, or the relationship that United States and Israel have. Just two things happen. You have two facts, and you think that they're connected. And because you think they're connected, you just think just presenting them both at the same time is evidence enough that they're connected. Right? So imagine, if you hate me, and then I go to court, and then you think you hate me because you think that I am a powerful person that has, connections in politics, right? If you hate me for that, and you have no evidence for it, but you just believe that, and then I get charged with a crime, and then I get a punishment that is less than what you think I deserve, you're going to say, well, obviously this proves that what I said against him was always correct. But you didn't actually provide any evidence for that. You just believe it so firmly that you think it's so obvious that you don't even need to make an argument for it. But anybody who says that obviously doesn't understand US politics and how US law works, because the US is very famous for having a really, more than most countries, the walls between the three branches of government are much, much more solid. And in fact, as somebody who supports Israel, I could actually say that this in the United States is better than Israel, right? So in many ways, I like Israel more than United States in the sense that Israel is paying most of the price when it comes to fighting the enemies of the world right now. But obviously, there are so many things that I like about the US that is superior, not just to every other country, right? So, for example, Israel is superior to United States because the IDF is a more moral army than the US Army, I think, because they do more to try to reduce civilian casualties than the US Army. But the advantages US has over Israel is that US has better free speech laws or free speech rights. But also, United States, one advantage United States has over Israel is the walls between the branches are a lot more solid. I think many Israelis in the chat agree with me, because many Israelis, when they participated in the protests before October 7th, there were the largest mass protests in the Middle East happened in Israel, and they were in the streets specifically for this, Because one thing, I think Jewish Samantha will agree with this, would agree with me on this, because one reason why many people were protesting against Netanyahu's government was because they thought that the independence of the judiciary branch was being challenged, and the walls between the executive branch and the judiciary branch was being challenged. And that's why so many Israelis were protesting, right? So, but in the US, that wall is very, very solid. Very, very solid. Yeah, Amir agrees with me. Amir, who's Israeli, saying, yes, Israel needs to change some stuff. So, obviously, these people have no idea what they're talking about. And they're just trying to, guys, just remember that when an Israeli somewhere gets charged with a crime, to these people, it's not an Israeli that is evil. Every time an Israeli does something bad, to anti-Israeli, this is an indication of how evil Israel is as a whole. This is why they keep trying to find Israelis being charged with crimes or stuff like that, because that's all they have, because they don't actually have good arguments against Israel as a country. Okay, let me actually respond to the super chat. Why is this so small? Let me wait for it to show up on my screen. Oh, there we go. Super Ab something. Super Ab is saying, yeah, okay, I can't read this right. Saying, isn't this part of the plan? Like when Ben Gurion wrote, we must expel Arabs and take their places. And if we have to use force, then we have force. Then we have force at our disposal. We must expel Arabs. Didn't Ben Gurion say that? I don't even know if Ben Gurion said that. But I don't know if he said that, but that's not the policy of Israel right now. Let me actually ask ChatGPT. Give me the context for this. Somebody is claiming that Ben Gurion said we must expel Arabs and take their places. Let me see. Because I'm in favor of allowing as many Gazans to leave Gaza voluntarily. Wait, shorter answer. Decode. So it comes from a 1937 letter Ben Gurion wrote to his son, but the original Hebrew has crossed out text that makes the meaning ambiguous. Oh, guys, it's good that I checked this up. Some translations show it as a call for expulsion, while others using the uncrossed version read the opposite. Okay, so, oh my God, look at this. The uncrossed version says, we do not wish, we do not need to expel Arabs. Holy crap! Right. There is a crossed version of this note that says that we must expel Arabs and take their places, but the uncrossed version says we do not wish. So before this text comes, we do not wish, we do not need to expel Arabs. Did you see that? I honestly, what the hell? It's the opposite. Are you kidding me? It's really the opposite. It's like, oh my God, it's basically the opposite. Everything that the vast majority of the things that they say against Israel, you just need to do 180, like you just need to flip it 180 degrees, and that would be the more accurate description of what's happening. Unbelievable. What the hell? That's crazy. Okay, guys. So no, good thing I checked. Good thing I checked. Guys, check these things before. Like, it's easier than ever to check these things. Oh, Torah saying, Armin, explain again. I didn't catch. So, okay, so we got a super chat saying that isn't the plan that Israel is doing right now basically a continuation of Ben Gurion's Ben Gurion's plan, who wrote that we must expel the Arabs. Okay, and then when I looked it up, apparently the full context of that's based on a crossed out. This was a note to his son, and it was crossed. Some parts of it was crossed out, which makes the meaning ambiguous. And the translations that use the uncrossed version shows that he was basically saying the opposite. And the part that was crossed out was the part that he was saying, we do not wish, we do not need to expel the Arabs. Again, I'm in favor of trying to get as many of the Arabs out of Gaza as possible, but not by forcing them out, but by just opening the gates and just seeing how many of them leave, given that what horrible the Gaza situation is right now. And if you tell me, well, Egypt and Jordan will never agree to that, I mean, you could make that the condition for continuing their military aid, because if you do that, then they will definitely agree, right? If Egypt might say like, oh, Egypt will never do that, right? Just make it a condition for the military aid that Egypt gets from the United States. Then they will agree. Because they cannot survive. Egypt and Jordan cannot survive without the military aid from the US. So we'll see about that. Anyways, I have to go. Somebody said, oh my God, Jewish Samantha, that's not how you spell your. Armin, you're wrong. What do you mean, Armin, you're wrong? You need to clarify. That's not good enough. I'm not wrong. Which part? I'm correct that the people in Gaza, they say Gaza is an open air prison. Okay. Well, let's not make it. Oh, Jewish Samantha is saying Egypt and Jordan will not take him. I know they will not take them, but if you make them taking it a condition for continuing the aid that they get from the United States, then they will have no choice. Do you understand that Egypt and Jordan require United States aid to be a country? Like they have to choose between allowing in the people from Gaza, right, or existing as a country. Jewish Samantha saying they still won't take them. I mean, that's a claim. You don't have any arguments or evidence for it. They don't get to remain. They don't get to remain being a country without that aid. Do you understand that? And again, we're not talking about all of people in Gaza. I'm just saying, before we try to stabilize Gaza and make it something that we could eventually become part of Israel, let's see how many of them we could get out of there as possible before we do that. Obviously, we cannot move 2 million people out of Gaza. That can't be done. I'm not delusional. I'm just saying, let's just see. I mean, even if you get out 100,000, that's not bad. That's 5%. That's 5% less of a hassle to deal with. Yeah, Jordan is more difficult than Egypt. I agree with that, because Jordan has already taken so many of these people there, and they almost got toppled. So yeah, Jewish Samantha, I agree to Jordan. I'm talking about the Sinai Peninsula, right? I'm not talking about the rest of Egypt where the other people are. I'm thinking like we could make the Sinai Peninsula a place for Gaza. I mean, it's not ideal, but at least you don't have bombs dropping on your head. Someone's saying, fuck off, stop advocating for ethnic cleansing. I'm advocating for a choice. I'm not advocating for ethnic cleansing. You're advocating for an open-air prison. I'm not saying that we should force the people out of Gaza. I'm just saying open the door and let's see who wants to leave. So you are anti the people of Gaza because you are refusing to give them a choice. I'm trying to give them a choice. You are anti-Gazans. I am actually saying something that makes sense. You're an idiot. All right, I'm going to go. Guys, I am going to go on my personal channel. My personal channel is called Armin Navabi. Okay. I'm going to go there and I'm going to talk about business and how to use AI to gamify your business. Okay. On that channel, we do not talk about politics. We talk about business and how to use technology to improve our business and make more money. That's my personal project on my personal channel. So if you're into that, okay, we're going to go live there in 25 minutes. So I'll see you guys there. And don't forget to, while you're still here, don't forget to like the stream. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell notification. We have really good discussions here. We have like advanced, well, did I read this? Yes, I did. We have advanced level discussions here. Our discussions here are more nuanced than other places. Yes, Amir, thank you so much. Amir saying our Atheist Republic, the best channel for Middle East geopolitics and religion analysis. Thank you. Amir, you always warm my heart when you say this stuff. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, make sure you recommend this channel because we're doing great work here. We're doing great. I think we're one of the most effective channels when it comes to responding to anti-Israeli lies. Did you see, guys, how easy it was for me to just show you how full of crap these arguments are? It's so easy for me. Okay, it just comes naturally. I'm really impressed with myself. So if you like Israel, then support this channel by telling people that they need to come here and subscribe and hit the bell notification. Okay. All right. Oh, thank you. Another Amir. We have two Amirs. Another Amir. Oh yeah. Neil Bunny and everybody else. Thank you, guys. I'm gonna hit that. All right. So last time I forget, I have to make sure I don't forget to end the stream like this. Okay. I'm Israel Chai. Javid Shah. See you guys tomorrow.